And now for another episode of Confessions of an Online Psychic with your host, novelist, filmmaker, and authentic psychic, Dave Thompson.
Hey gang, I'm Dave, and I am an authentic psychic. I'm also a writer, novelist, got a book series. I'm also a filmmaker, and I've been a photographer for a lot longer than I care to admit. In some cases, I've been a photographer for longer than some of you folks have been alive. I'm a lot older than I look. Today's episode, I want to touch on the topic of guides. If you are psychic, if you've been doing meditation, if you've been working with magic, chances are you've encountered some entities around you. These people may not be people who have passed over that want to contact you. They may not be people who you've called upon to help you with magic. They may simply be your guide. Traditionally, everybody has at least one, sometimes two, sometimes there's as many as 4 or 5. And they all have a specialty that they bring to you that you can draw upon when you're learning stuff. There for a while I had somebody around me who was a novelist. I think they may still be around, I don't know, but they were helping me find my voice as a writer. When I'm working on movies, when I was doing a short that, by the way, it premiered at Cannes, I had a filmmaker around me, Cecil B. DeMille. He was giving me advice, just helping me chill out. So, but what are guides? Well, guides are usually people that we know who are there to teach us, but we only know them when we're in spirit. We rarely know these people when they're part of our earth family. There is a difference between our earth family and our spirit family. Yes, we'll often have the same people incarnate as either a parent or a sister or sibling, but often these are not true spiritual family. It varies. It's very complicated. I've had one of my spirit guides try to explain it to me, and quite frankly, I would get lost in a hurry. But what's the difference between, say, a true guide and your grandma? Well, a grandma comes by, she's got advice to give you. She goes, oh, you need to do this or do that. But the difference is that sometimes people who are in spirit and are trying to give you advice and guide you, they're still coloring it with their earthly knowledge. Whereas the guide is coming to you with knowledge of what you've picked out as your pathway. The things you wish to accomplish in this life, the people that you wish to encounter, or the children you wish to have in this life. And that's all they're dealing with. Often when I'm doing a reading of somebody, I will get a big blank. I'm like, okay, why am I not picking up what I'm supposed to pick up? I was following this thread and then blank. And then a guide will show up and say, we can't let you see this, because then you'll pass it along. I said, can you give me a hint? They go, no, we cannot. It is blocked, and it's blocked for a reason. That happens all the time. Let's say you go to a psychic, and you have a reading, and you then later encounter somebody who is an issue for you. I mean, they cause severe trouble and trauma and your life, and then you later go back and you ask the psychic, how come you didn't see it? Well, now they can see it, and they go, well, it was blocked by your guides. That's happened to me. Oh, dear God. It's happened to me 4 or 5 times. A reading I had with a psychic in 1994, he did not foresee a problem that I had with a business partner at that time, but I've later found out it's because that business partner, there was some lessons in karma to be learned. Oh well. But the real difference between a true guide and your grandma is, believe it or not, there is some training a spirit has to go through to be a guide. I've encountered people who've had several guides, and one of which seems to be a younger person, a younger spirit, and this is the guide trainee. And they're under far more scrutiny and supervision than, say, the other guides. I have a guide named Daniel. I call him Pops, which he doesn't like. He's also my daughter's guide because this came up because my daughter started calling me Pops and then she would grin. I go, why are you doing that? She goes, because I heard it, I heard you call somebody else Pops and they want me to call you Pops. And it's sort of his way of getting back to me. But get away from that. Sometimes a guide will incarnate and will encounter you, say, as a teacher, or as an older person you encounter that gives you very valuable life advice. They're very rarely the type, like in the joke about the guy who's walking along and hears a voice says, don't take another stop right now. And he stops, and right in front of him, a piece of construction equipment drops and breaks the thing and says, oh my God, who is this voice? He says, well, I'm your guardian angel. I'm your spirit guide. I'm to keep you out of trouble. He goes, well, where the hell were you when I got married? Well, to ruin the good joke, the reason is because the guy had to be married to undergo spiritual growth. Now, sometimes you'll encounter somebody who says they've got a guide, or you'll even yourself encounter a guide that just isn't right. I'm not going to name names, but I know somebody who was telling me that they had a spirit guide who was an archangel. That didn't seem right because this spirit was very bullying. They were driving this person crazy. They were very much a bully. Well, why would a spirit guide be a bully? Spirit guides are not bullies. They guide you gently. They don't push, they don't shove, they don't drag you. Another good example is last week's episode where I talked about scam artists. I talked about this woman, and she claimed to be channeling the Swami from India, who claimed to be an incarnation of God. But in her case, what she was channeling was a malignant type of entity, and it took me a while to get away from her and this entity because it was so malignant. Same thing with this other person. These are not true guides. These are times when you've gotten into some serious trouble dealing with this type of creature, and you need help. You need help from your own spirit guides, but from magicians or witches, or a good medium psychic who can tell you what's going on. So, to recap, a true guide will simply guide you gently on your path. They were with you when you picked out your path, when you laid it out what you want to be, and they were with you. They told you, hey, here's some good examples. But in the other side, as well as in our life, free will reigns. Free will is the manner of it. So let's say you, before birth, you say, well, I'm going to learn to deal with X, Y, Z. And like my ex, she's one of many people who've incarnated to deal with an addiction. And right now she's on the losing edge. I know another person who recently passed away. He was dealing with addiction as well because his addiction killed him. Chances are he's going to have to work on that, mastering the human body in such a way as to get past the addiction. There's a lot of souls that are going through that. A lot of souls are being shown, okay, here's a bunch of money and a bunch of power, and it's not that they have to learn to deal with the money or the power. They're dealing with the addictions that come along with that much money. It's so easy to get into, the drugs and the alcohol. But that's a recap real quick about guides. My information comes to me not only through my own guides, but talking with other people's guides. There's a very good book series by Dr. Michael Newton, and it's Life Between Lives and The Journey of Souls. And they go into the role of a spirit guide in these books. Quite deep, quite deep. All right, that is it for this week. I'm rolling back how many hours I'm available to people for readings. I've recently raised my rates, and I've noticed I'm having to go through all the time and reset my schedule. I'm not as available as I usually am. So if you want to book me, you're going to have to do it early. And these sessions are usually about an hour long. They're done by video, so I can see you, you can see me. What else? That's really all I have to go over this week. Comment below if you have any specific questions about guides, or if you have any ideas for topics I can cover in the future. I do read all the comments, and that's it. We will see you later. That's it for this episode of
Confessions of an Online Psychic.
And see you later. Bye, y'all.